Hello everyone and welcome back to JB Outdoors. Today we're going to work on smoking a turkey for Thanksgiving. I'm going to show you my favorite way. And to start this process, we're going to start with a brine, and we're going to do that for between 12 and 24 hours prior to smoking. So let's get started on that. We'll start with our 2 cups of apple cider. And we don't really need to be that exact on it. So we're just going to throw this in. We need to bring this to a boil. And then we're going to add our 1 cup each of kosher salt. And 1 cup of brown sugar. And as we bring it to a boil, the salt and the sugar will dissolve into the brine, and then we can add it to the next step. Now the purpose of the brine is to create a more tender meat, and it'll actually help on the cooking process. It'll kind of speed up the cooking process as well. So smoking a turkey, we have an 11-pound turkey ready to go. I've pulled the giblets out and the neck out, and I've washed the turkey, just rinsed off anything from being packaged, and then patted dry with a paper towel. So that's a pretty important step of the process. So from here, the rule is at least a half an hour or 30 minutes per 1 pound of turkey. So this is an 11-pound turkey, so it's going to be around 5.5 hours of cook time. So we're going to get this rolling, and as this heats up, we're going to just keep stirring it in just to help the salt and the sugar dissolve, and then we're going to add the next bits of the recipe. While that's going, grab my cutting board, and then we're going to quarter some oranges up. And this doesn't have to be perfect either. These are just going in for the acidity to help break down the meat during the brine process. Let's do one more. And then we'll do our onion as well. And again, definitely doesn't have to be perfect. Don't worry about getting rid of the entire outside layers of the onion. Get rid of the loose stuff. And that'll do. So now that this is ready, in this brine process, we're going to use at least about 1 gallon of water. I use a bucket, buy from my favorite hardware store, and we're going to add some water and then start putting the oranges and the onion in. So we're gonna add cold water. We have some water in here, so we're just gonna go ahead and add all these to the bucket. Onion as well. Now that we have our turkey over here and ready to go, the purpose of the rosemary, sage, and thyme, we're going to put a little bit of each inside of the turkey. Now you can grab one sprig. We're going to take half of that, and we're just going to put it inside the cavity of the turkey. Put some here, and we can put some in this cavity. And that'll help those flavors just kind of sink into the meat. This guy's pretty much ready to go. We're just about to a boil, and it looks like we are looking pretty good on all the sugar and the salt dissolving. So this is the base of our brine. We're going to just get our turkey into the bucket. Now the important part of this is to make sure that the turkey is completely submerged. And before I pour any of the hot liquid on top of the turkey, we're going to get some ice ready. So we have roughly 4 cups of ice ready. Our brine mixture is ready to go on, so we're going to go right on top of that turkey. Perfect. We're going to add our ice to get that cooled down. We're going to add, we need at least 1 tablespoon of peppercorns. And it looks like we're not completely submerged, so I'm going to add just a little bit more water, and then we will be ready to cover. We're going to start this tomorrow, so we're going to have it actually in the brine mixture for about 18 hours. Get some saran wrap over the top of this. You could also buy the lid with your bucket at the hardware store. And then we're going to put this in the refrigerator in the garage. So that's going to be ready to go tomorrow, and the next time you see us, we will start our smoking process. We're going to be using a Weber Smokey Mountain Smoker. It's a 22.5-inch model. And then we're also going to be using their iGrill for the temperature probe. So stay tuned and we'll see you tomorrow. Now the way I've always done this was I get the charcoal ready. I have 1 whole bag. It's a 15.4 pound bag of Kingsford charcoal. I put the majority of that in there, and then I also start it with the chimney starter. So this will actually speed up the process of starting your charcoal. We're just going to go ahead and add this right onto the top of it, and then that will start the rest of the charcoal evenly. That way we don't have a whole bag of charcoal going at the same time. Put that somewhere safe so it won't burn. And we're going to assemble the rest of the charcoal smoker and get our bird on. Well, it's been about 18 hours with our turkey in the brine, so we're going to get it out, rinse it off, and pat it dry, and then we're going to follow the next steps. We're going to add the dry rub, so let's get started on this. So we're rinsed and then just about patted dry. We get the rest of the sky, get that underneath the wings as well. Okay, then we're going to take our extra virgin olive oil. You can use regular olive oil as well, and we're just going to drizzle on the skin, and then we want to get everywhere that we want the rub to stick. This is what the rub is going to stick to, and it'll also help crisp up the skin. Now we have pulled out the sprigs of the rosemary, thyme, and sage out of the cavities. We will replace that with some new, fresh sprigs. Now we have our oil on. I've mixed up a little bit of our rub. I'm going to have a recipe in the description down below of this. This is just a little bit of dried rosemary, thyme, sage, salt, onion powder, etc. And we're just going to sprinkle this evenly as possible all over the bird. And then this will be the exterior crust. It looks good. Now I'm going to use a roasting pan. So we're going to get this turkey in the roasting pan. We're going to cook breast down. This roasting pan will keep the turkey up off of the bottom of it, so any of the juices that fall underneath it will not burn to the turkey. I'm going to get my hands washed up, and we're going to add the apple cider. Now to use a round number, we're going to say half a cup of apple cider into the pan. probably just enough to coat the bottom of the pan, and then we're also going to use around half a cup of water. Now you can do a little bit more, you can tweak this recipe, but this is my favorite way to do it. From here we're going to go into the smoker, so we're going to make sure that the smoker is ready to go, make sure it's up to temp, and then we're going to get this bird in. Alright, let's get over to the smoker. Alright, now that the smoker is ready to go, we're going to go ahead and add our chips first. Today I've decided on doing a little mixture of both cherry and hickory. So I'm going to add that to the charcoal. Some people smoke their chips. I do not when I'm using charcoal. I do when I'm using a gas smoker. Today we're not going to soak them just because I don't want it to kill the internal temp. We're going to add a couple handfuls of each. And then today, this turkey does not have a pop-up timer or anything with it, so we are going to use Weber's iGrill. This is the little module of it. I've already ran the probe inside. This is a Bluetooth thermometer. Let's get this guy going. Put this bird on. This probe, this smoker has a nice little silicone grommet so you can run the probe through and then keep your module on the outside. It's got a magnet for the outside. So we're going to stick this into the breast of the bird. And get this lid closed because we're starting to smoke. We're going to watch that temperature. And then real quick, we're going to go to our iGrill app. Start grilling. We want food temperature. We're on poultry, and we are going to scroll down to a turkey whole, not stuffed. Target temp is 165. We want to be about 180 inside the breast. So we're going to press start. It tells you right where to put the probe. And currently our turkey is 45 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's a really cool product. I do not work for Weber. I used to sell them, so I have a lot of their products. I love Weber products. This is a great little product, and this is the mini. This was about $50 new, so I really like this. And we'll give you an update when we get closer to our temperature. Well, it's been about 5.5 hours. It's going on 6 hours actually. So we're gonna pull this thing out. Our thermometer has alerted us that it is to temperature, and it has been for up to about a half an hour. So that is our smoked turkey. The roasting rack has kept it out of the liquids, and it's kept it nice and moist throughout the cook. And we are going to take this guy out of here. Take our probe off. And we're going to take this guy inside and get him cut up. Have ourselves a nice little pre-Thanksgiving dinner with our family. And from our family to yours, we hope you have a happy Thanksgiving this year. And I hope you took something from this video today. And as always with JB Outdoors, spend more time outdoors even if it means you're cooking outdoors.